Welcome back to another episode of Hot Rods by Doug. And today's video, we got the Suburban in here. And I'm pretty sure I haven't showed you guys the Suburban. I might have talked about it before, but I bought this thing about a month or so ago to do some stuff to lower it down, throw some wheels on it, and make it a good family hauler. But while I was out one day having a little too much fun with the kids, we started roasting off the back tires, and I think I turned this 350 engine into a chocolate milk machine. So we're getting a little late start to this video, but we are going to pop the hood on this thing and drain the oil and see if we got anything good in there. So a little background on the Suburban. Like I said, I bought it to make it a nice family hauler. I got some plans for it, hopefully, as long as this engine turns out okay, or might have to just yank the whole motor out and put another one in it. I ain't made my mind up yet. We're gonna try to attempt to fix the head gaskets in it, which is something I've never done before, but we're just gonna give it a whirl and see how it goes. You know, when I bought this thing, I had some wheels laying around and I tried to make them fit, and they were the wrong lug pattern, so I bought some wheel spacers, put them on there. They still didn't fit, so I ended up sending all that stuff back. But it's a pretty clean Suburban. It doesn't have a lot of rust on it. It does have a little bit, and we are going to attempt to fix that as well, and hopefully just make this thing overall just a sweet little cruiser. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Well, that's definitely the culprit. Having a little bit of oil and water mix leads to a blown head gasket, and whether it was that way when I bought it or the water and oil started mixing when we started tearing them back tires up, I don't know. I only had this thing for a couple weeks, and one morning on my way to work, it got hot on me, and I noticed that there was no water in the radiator. So when I got to work, I just put more water in it and then just kept going on my way. But I think that's what's going to take care of this thing. We're going to have to put two head gaskets in it because I don't know which side's leaking. I don't know how to check, so I decided let's just replace both of them. That's the plan as now. Things could change. Might just yank the whole motor out, send it off to be rebuilt, or may just try to find another used one. I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to do some thinking on it. So we did get a little late start to this video. It's already dark outside, so I guess we'll just catch you guys in the morning. Morning, everybody. We're back out here working on this Suburban. But we're going to just put an oil filter back on it, put a little bit of oil in it. I need to get it back out of the garage. I have one of my buddies coming over, and he wants me to do a little bit of work on his car today. So I think we're going to do that this morning. And then once we get done with that, we're going to put the Suburban back on the lift and either tear into that motor or get ready to pull it out. I haven't made my mind up still. I've still been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for a couple of days. And what I've been thinking about is just replacing the whole motor. I just don't know if it's worth fixing the head gaskets because I do notice that the rear main seal is leaking. So it just bothers me to fix one problem just to leave another problem. So I am considering pulling this whole motor and putting another one in it, but it's probably a little more money doing it that way, and I just don't know which route I want to go. We're going to go ahead and get an oil filter through back on this thing so I can get it out off the lift so my buddy can bring his car and we can get working on it. So I got the oil filter put on, and I'm gonna just put 1 quart of oil in it. I'm not gonna waste a bunch of oil on this thing. It's just gonna get ruined again. So I'm just gonna throw 1 quart of oil in just to back out of the garage, and if it blows up, well, I mean, who cares, right? This motor is not really that great anyways. I mean, it couldn't even keep its head gasket together, you know, and whose fault's that? Ain't my fault. Ain't my heavy foot's fault. All right, so we got my buddy Josh's car in here. We're gonna do a little work on it today. We're actually gonna be installing some neon lights, throwing it back to the 90s just a little bit. So let's get this thing up on the lift and get started. So this is what we're working with. He got one of those million color LED underbody light kits, and they're pretty nice. I've had a couple of them. I put one underneath one of my dualies, and I love the way it turned out. So I'm sure it will turn out just as good on this thing. So these kits are super simple. We'll end up mounting this underneath the engine bay somewhere, and then you got your controller here. You just put on your keychain so that when it's nighttime, you just turn it on, lights come on, you're riding in style. So the main thing you want to do when you're putting any kind of lights under a car is get it up in the air and really look it over pretty good, because you don't want the bulbs to show. I've seen people do these before and their bulbs show, and it just doesn't look as good if you can keep them nice and hid. And we have a little bit of room here. This lip might be just big enough to where it sits nice and flush against there, so you won't be able to see the bulb when it's on the ground. And that way you get more light coverage on the ground. It really shines and nobody can see your bulbs, because I think that just makes for a cleaner install. All right, so we're starting to get this thing figured out. We got the back one just kind of pre-mounted. We know where all the side stuff's gonna go. We're hoping to get it up here along this channel here and hid behind this piece of lip here. But the front, we are gonna have to do a little work to the front. We're gonna end up trimming some of this plastic off so we can mount it to the front of here so you get a good shine down. That's the only problem with these new cars. They come with so much plastic on the bottom of them. It's hard to install stuff like this, but well, you can't spell custom without a K, so I guess let's just get to cutting. All right, so we've been out here for a little bit trying to get these lights on, and my buddy says he only had a limited amount of time to do this, and it's taking a little longer than we planned on it to. So hopefully by next week we'll have this thing done. Just gotta come over, we gotta mount one more light, wire it up, and the wiring part's actually the easy part. Just getting all the wires to the front and then wiring up, and he'll be good to go. So most likely that's gonna be a wrap for this video. We didn't get a whole lot done. I'm still thinking about things on the Suburban. I'm not really sure what to do as of right now. The cheap thing to do would be just fix the head gaskets and just keep rolling it, but I have a hard time leaving stuff alone. If I had it my way to be in here on jack stands, we'd rip all the suspension out, pull motor and transmission out, pull all the interior out, and then really do some customization to it, get it down on the ground and stuff like that. But that's just not in the cards right now. So I'm thinking about just getting it fixed up so we can start driving it again, and we'll just go from there. So thanks for everybody watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.